Hello my friends and welcome back to another video. Today we are doing my November wrap up. I have 13 books to talk about today. I read 13. I had a very productive reading month. I got a lot read. I would say the ratings are pretty either top heavy or bottom heavy. Like, I feel like I have a lot that were really not good and then a lot that I really did enjoy and not so much in the middle, which is very interesting. So yeah, we have a lot to talk about. I'm gonna try to make this quick. I'm gonna try not to talk as much as I usually do, which is kind of hard for me. You know, I talk a lot. So we are going to start at the bottom of the barrel, my bottom ranking books, and work our way up to the top because I like to end on a more positive note. So let's get into my 2-star rated books. First up is Behind Her Eyes by Sarah Pinborough. And now I know this is a super hyped up book. This is, you know, this is a thriller that a lot of people talk about, and there's a TV show on Netflix, I believe, based off of that. So I had high expectations going into this one. This is about a woman who is a single mom, and one night she goes out to have, you know, a little time to herself, and she meets this man. They share a kiss. It is beautiful. She comes to find out on that Monday that he is her new boss and he is married. However, she ends up making friends with his wife as well and realizes that their marriage, it's a little strange. So the first half of this book, it's decent. It's good. It held my attention. I was into it. The second half, it gets boring. Like, there's not a lot going on. It's the same kind of stuff. And then this plot twist, okay? I'm not going to talk about it because it's a spoiler, but this plot twist is so annoying in my opinion. I think it was so stupid. I don't know why it went in this direction. I think it ruined the entire book for me, this plot twist. I just didn't get it. Like, I just sat there like, why? Why is this the way it is? So I did not like this at all. I think I was pretty generous giving it 2 stars. But yeah, it was so disappointing. The plot twist is really the thing that ruined everything for me, just because it went in a completely weird, far left, out of left field, go into outer space kind of plot twist. And so I was just not, I was not having it. And yeah, I finished it to finish it and I was disappointed when I finished it. So it's gonna be a no from me. The next book in my 2-star category, I think I'm gonna make a lot of people upset. I think this is a very controversial, unpopular opinion because this book is like everyone's favorite of 2021. So many people have been talking about this book. It is extremely hyped. A lot of you told me you really liked it. So I feel like I'm gonna break some hearts with this one. But the next 2-star book is The Push by Ashley Audrain. This just isn't what I wanted it to be. This is just not what I wanted it to be. This is about a woman and her husband who end up having a baby, and the woman feels like she can't really connect to this little girl, and they have a very strange and strained relationship. And then she gets pregnant again with a little boy, and she actually like is obsessed with the little boy. She feels very connected to him. They have a great relationship, and then a tragedy happens and it all just spirals downhill from there. And so I wanted this to be a creepy child story. I wanted this to be more of that, and it's not that. It's really boring in my opinion. It's very repetitive. The same things happen over and over and over and over again. I found the main character and her husband and pretty much every character to be really freaking annoying and kind of stupid, and so every time they did something I was just frustrated because I just didn't get it. Now granted, this is coming from someone who doesn't have children and doesn't want children. I don't have kids. I don't want kids. So I think this book just doesn't hit that mark for me because I just don't connect with it like that. I much preferred Baby Teeth over this one. I liked Baby Teeth way more. And the ending of this book was so infuriating to me. The ending should have been the halfway point, in my opinion, to split up some repetition and that way make the book more exciting because this book is really boring. So yeah, that's a super unpopular opinion. I'm pretty sure no one agrees with me. I feel like a lot of people are gonna be upset. So yeah, I just didn't get it. I didn't like it. I thought it was just boring, and I don't know. It wasn't what I wanted it to be. I went in expecting a creepy kid story, and I didn't really get that. I didn't really get it. It wasn't creepy enough for me. It wasn't like thrilling enough for me. So yeah, it's another no from me. Okay, and the last book in this 2-star category I think is gonna be a shock to some people because I just think a lot of people don't expect me to rate a book like this really low. So, surprise! It is The Haunting of Rookwood House by Darcy Coates. It pains me to put Darcy this low, like, ever. I just would never have expected her to be this low on a rating scale. But by far, this is my least favorite book I've ever read from her. This is about a guy named Guy, and he's having a rough time in his life. He's moved back in with his mom. Some things have happened in his life that you don't know about until, you know, later on. And he's kind of just like struggling. And he finds this deed to this house, Rookwood House. And yeah, he decides to go fix it up so him and his mom can sell it and make a profit since they own it and they've done nothing with it. So yeah, that's what he does. He goes to fix up this house and ooh, haunting. So, Guy, my least favorite character Darcy has ever made. He is so irritating. He is so obnoxious. He is so... Ugh, I just hated him. I hated everything about him. He was not likable in any sense of the word. Like, he had no likable or redeeming qualities about him, in my opinion. I just could not stand the guy. And the other thing about this is I think this plot could have been really good because there are some chapters that are flashbacks to the previous owners of the house and kind of showing you what happened and why it's haunted, and that was an amazing story. I really, really liked the perspective of the family, but they were just so few and far in between, and I preferred those way more than Guy's perspective and the stuff that was happening to him. And so he just, yeah, he just made me really mad. He was kind of an idiot, and, you know, I like to give characters a break. I know that not everyone can be super intelligent in horror books, and I give them some slack, but my dude, he was so dumb. I just couldn't get past that. So I really wanted more of the previous owners and more of that plot and less of Guy and the present chapters. And also, you know I love a happy ending. You know I love a happy ending. Darcy makes the best happy endings ever. This ending was so annoying to me. Yeah, I just didn't like it. And it's a happy ending, technically. I don't understand it. So yeah, this was just all around not my favorite. It didn't really feel like her other books. It didn't really feel like her writing to me. It felt very out of place and just odd, and I don't know. It wasn't my favorite Darcy book. Yeah, no, I didn't care for this one. Next up is our 2.5 star category. I have one book in this category. Again, very sad to put this book in here because I just wanted it, to be better than it was. And that is Nothing But Blackened Teeth by Cassandra Khaw. This was my most anticipated release of 2021, and it fell so incredibly short. Literally short. Like, it's the shortest book in the entire world, and I was like, So, I mean, I've talked about this book a lot. Japanese mansion, friends going there to celebrate a wedding, ghosts, you know, that kind of thing. So my biggest issue with this book is it's too short. It's too short. The length really hinders the creep factor, the spookiness, the plot. It hinders a lot. The characters are all really unlikable. I didn't care if they lived. I didn't care if they died. I didn't care who they were. I just didn't care. The only thing I really did like about the story was the yokai, or the ghosts. I really did like their descriptions and that involved them. I thought they were really creepy and cool, but the story really just didn't focus on them enough for me. It really focused on the characters who I didn't care about. So that was super disappointing. The writing is just a very, I don't know. I feel like the author used a lot of unnecessary words to make the book sound better than it is, I guess. I don't know. Some of the word choice was just odd. Yeah, I don't know. I was just super disappointed in this book. Wow, so sad. I really just like, look at that cover. Look at it. Best cover of 2021 by far, but not best plot, unfortunately. I really think this had potential, but unfortunately all of it together just didn't work well. So I'm sad about this. Really sad about this. Really sad. Okay, next is our 3-star category. I have one book as well, and that is What Lies Between Us by John Mars. Now, I have been very interested in this book since I found out what it was about. It is a mother-daughter relationship that is very different, and I'm gonna leave it at that. That's the plot. I'm not gonna tell you anything else. I liked this book. I thought it was okay. Honestly, the biggest issue for me was that it was extremely predictable. I predicted almost every single thing. There was like 1 or 2 things that I like didn't see coming, but they weren't shocking enough for me to feel like it redeemed the book. But everything else just felt so obvious and so predictable. So I was really disappointed, especially since everyone says this is like a really good book, and I do like the idea of it. I do like the plot. I like what it is about in the story. I just think execution wise it wasn't my absolute favorite. I just think the predictability and the way it went, I was just kind of like, okay, I can see this coming from a mile away. I like guessed so much and I was just so mad about it. So I think that's why I gave it 3 stars. I don't think it's a bad book, and I think a lot of people are gonna enjoy it. I just personally don't think it's like a standout. Next up, our 3.5-star category, and we have The Haunting of Gillespie House by Darcy Coates. Now this one I feel like was a pretty average read from Darcy. It wasn't like an amazing book, but I didn't dislike it. I thought it was pretty good. It kept my attention. It was fun. This is about this woman who is taking care of this property for this couple while they're away, and she just kind of gets to, you know, mind the house and just explore and take care of it. And she's very secluded, and of course the house is haunted. Now I really like the background information and the backstory on the house. I thought that was a lot of fun and pretty interesting. Again, I didn't find it that unique, but I thought it was really cool and I did overall enjoy it. It just wasn't like a super standout book to me. I liked the character. I thought she was great. I liked the story, you know. I liked all of it. It was good. It just wasn't like a knockout, but I did enjoy it. That's why I gave it 3.5. I didn't want to give it 3, but I didn't think it was like full of 4-star. So I thought 3.5 was like still a decent rating. Also, this is one of her books that have little short stories in the back, and by far this is the best short story collections so far that I've read from her in the back of these books. This was my favorite one. It had really, really good ones in the back, and they were all really like different and exciting and fun, and all of them I could see being their own book, which was also really cool. So yeah, this was just like it was a fine read for me. I didn't dislike it. I'm glad I read it. It was fun. It just wasn't my absolute favorite. Next up in the 3.5 star category, another Darcy. It's Parasite by Darcy Coates, and this is her alien story. And I was very nervous for this one because I'm very particular about alien horror. I'm not really a big sci-fi person. Sci-fi horror is not really my area. I just don't really like love it that much. So this is a pretty typical alien plot in my opinion. They find this alien species and it gets way out of control. So this alien actually wears the skins of their human victims. So you never know who you're talking to. You never know if it's an alien or if it's a human. So it's you know, exciting. It's makes everything a little more complicated. But to me, this was just a very typical alien story, but a well done alien story. I didn't dislike what it was. It was very fast paced, very exciting. It had a lot going on. There was a lot of different perspectives. You get to travel between these space stations, so you get all kinds of viewpoints. I will say I think it's a little long. Like the last chunk of story was probably like my least favorite, but it was kind of necessary to the story. So, you know, it's difficult to say if I think it should have been left out or not, because I do think it added to the story. It just wasn't like my favorite part of the story. But overall, I think it's a pretty typical alien plot. It reminded me a lot of like Alien and The Thing. So if you like those kinds of movies, you might like this. If you like Darcy's writing, you might enjoy it. Again, wasn't like my absolute favorite, but I did think it was fun and different for her, and that was, you know, a nice change of pace. Next up is our 4-star category. We have 2 books, and the first one is The X Hex by Erin Sterling. This is a witchy romance, and it is about a woman who places a curse on her ex-boyfriend. It's very funny. It's very Sabrina the Teenage Witch-esque. It kind of gives me that vibe. It's very rom-com, just a lot of like, you know, tension between the main characters and silly things happening, but also, you know, there's a curse, so they have to try to break that. I do wish there was a little bit more witchy vibes. I feel like it was a little downplayed compared to the romance aspect, but I did like it. I thought it was really fun. This was just a cute read. It was fast, it was easy. It was just one of those books where you can like pick it up, read it, and just enjoy it and then be done, and you know, you're satisfied. You know, it wasn't like a bad read. You were just like, yeah, that was good. That was really good. It was fun. It was good. That's how I felt after reading this. Like I told you guys, I'm in a witchy mood, I'm in a romance mood, so I felt like this just kind of ticked all my boxes. So, yeah, I enjoyed it. I thought it was a lot of fun. Next up in the 4-star category, and last in the 4-star category, is another Darcy Coates book. Yes, I know, but I told you, I'm trying to finish all her books by the end of this year, so I've been reading a lot of them. So, next up is Craven Manor by Darcy Coates. I had very low expectations for this one. I feel like I haven't seen like overwhelming amounts of praise for this book, but I actually really liked it. I thought it was really, really, really good. So this one's about Daniel, who is, you know, he's not doing great financially. He's living with his cousin and he's very tight on cash. and he gets this mysterious job offer to be the groundskeeper at Craven Manor, and the whole job is very mysterious. He doesn't know who's employing him, he doesn't know really anyone, and he obviously decides to take it because he needs money. And you know, of course there are ghosts, and overall I really liked this one. I thought it was cute. It was a really good one. Yeah, I don't know, I really enjoyed it. Daniel's a really good main character. He's so sweet and so kind, and he's just like such a good person, and that made me really want to root for him the whole time. I was like, you've got this. You've got this, Daniel. You're gonna be fine. You're gonna be fine, baby. You got this. And so I just really liked him. I loved the plot of this one. I loved all the characters. Well, I liked most of the characters. There's one character that I did not like, so I'm not going to tell you who, but I did not like this person. So, you know, I didn't like them, but most of the characters I really, really liked. So overall, super enjoyable, really fast read. It just had all the qualities I love from a Darcy book, and yeah. It was just a lot of fun. I really liked this one. And I'm showing you the cover because I don't actually physically have this book right now. It's in the mail to me and I read it on my Kindle. So yes, unfortunately I cannot hold it up for you to see. So you'll have to just look at it here. Our 5-star category. We have 4 books and all of them are really, really, really good. All right, really good. I'm really happy with all of them. They were the best reads of the month. So let's get into it. First up, Verity by Colleen Hoover. I finally read a Coho book. I am a Coho stan. I know this is her thriller romance book and she mostly writes romance, which is totally fine by me because I love romance. So I am buying more of her books. I have a few now, but I read this because everyone said the ending was like jaw-dropping, like crazy wild. They're not wrong. This ending, wow. Okay, so this is about a struggling writer who is just not having an easy time, you know, being a writer, obviously. And she gets a job of a lifetime. She gets hired to complete the books from this well-known author because this well-known author is unable to continue writing her own books. And of course, the money is great. She arrives at the house of the author, her husband, and their child, and she gets to go through all her material and, you know, try to find stuff to continue on the series that she's, you know, been brought on to complete. And while looking through all this stuff, she finds a manuscript for a autobiography of the author that she was writing about herself. And she starts reading it and she starts uncovering some dark things. And yeah, that's, you know, that's all I'm gonna tell you. There's also some romance. So, you know, it's not like lovey-dovey romance, to be honest. It's more like sexy romance, like sexual romance. I mean, like, I guess it's like a little lovey, but it's more like sexual in my opinion, not really like lovey-dovey, cutesy. It's more like, ooh, I want to jump his bones, that kind of thing. I have my own thoughts about the ending. I have my own opinion on how I think everything is. So if you want to talk about it, let me know. But I really, really liked this. I'm a co-host stan now. I will be reading all her books. So obsessed with this. So good. Next up in the 5-star category is Stillhouse Lake by Rachel Kane. And now I heard about this book from Nakia, from Nakia's Hideaway here on YouTube. I love Nakia. She is amazing. If you're not subscribed, go subscribe immediately. She's so sweet, kind, and just an amazing person. And so when she said she loved this book, I was like, you know what? I need to buy it. And I kept forgetting to buy it because I have a shopping problem. So it took me a while to remember that I needed it. So I bought it. Read it. This is amazing. This is amazing. This is amazing. Okay, so this is about a woman and her 2 kids, and they find out because of a car accident really, that her husband and their dad is a serial killer. He goes to prison, they change their names and go into hiding, and they find refuge at Stillhouse Lake. They like it there, you know, enough. They're just trying to lay low because internet trolls and stalkers are trying to find them. It's very scary actually. When I found out about that, I was like, what the frick is happening? So that's intense. And then some people start dying the same way that her husband's victims died around Stillhouse Lake. So, wow, this one was really, really good. Really, really good. I did not know that this was book 1 in a series, so the ending floored me. And then I realized that I needed the second book because I have to know what I have to know how this ends. This is insane. This was insane. It is so intense. It is so fast paced. There's so much happening. I never knew who to trust. It was a lot. And honestly, I just felt so bad for the kids because everything that they were going through is just too much for kids. Too much for an adult, honestly, but too much for kids. And it was just, wow, it was a lot. I read it in one sitting, and I stayed up like all night to finish this, and I was just like, what's gonna happen? Oh my god. And then I sat there at the end and I was like, oh, there's a second book. Okay. So yes, I will be reading the second book because this was fantastic. So good. Oh my god, so good. So good. The next book on my 5-star list is The Last Thing to Burn by Will Dean. Now, this is an intense book, but this is an intense book for a lot of reasons. And so I am going to give a slight content warning, just that like there's a lot in this book. It's very emotional. It deals with a lot. So if you are interested in this book, I would highly recommend looking into it a bit more, just because it's a very heavy story. There's a lot of heavy topics in here, so just, you know, take note of that. This is about a woman who has been kidnapped and held captive for the last 7 years by this man, and she finds herself pregnant, and she is trying to make a plan to escape to save herself and this baby. However, the man that is holding her captive ends up taking in another victim, another woman, and so she has to figure out a way to help this other woman and her baby and herself. Wow. This book made me cry so much. I honestly didn't know how I was gonna rate it because I was so frustrated while reading this book. I was so frustrated. I was just so frustrated. And it's just frustrating because you want to do something. You just want to stop it. You just wanted to just fix it, and you can't because you're reading it, and you know, we have no control over that as the reader. And it's infuriating because it's so realistic. It's so realistic, and all I can think about is the women that this has really happened to, and that hurt a lot. Made me very emotional. I cried a lot during this book, and honestly, I cried so many times I can't even keep track, and I was just so nervous because I was like, if this is gonna ruin me if this ends bad. Like, it's going to ruin my life. So I was on the edge of my seat. I was like nauseous because I was so scared that it was gonna just hurt me so bad, more than it had already hurt me. It was such a good book. So emotional, so frustrating, so infuriating, so disgusting, so dark. Oh, but it was so good. Oh, I cried so hard at the ending. Oof. Just thinking about it, honestly, like I could cry right now. It makes me really emotional. Wow. The ending's I'm not gonna tell you. It's a good book. I highly recommend it. Again, just be warned that it's a lot. It's very, very hard to read, but very, very good. Very, very, very good. Look at that. We're on our last book. Our last one. Our last 5-star and our last book of November. And that is... are you ready? Red, White, and Royal Blue by Casey McQuiston. McQuiston? I still don't know if I'm saying that right. Oh, you know I had to read a romance. You know I had to. This made me get in such a bad romance mood. I have bought so many romance books since reading this because it just like triggered this part of my brain that was like, you want to read all of the romance right now. This was so cute. This was so cute. Oh my god, my heart, it was so, so sweet. So this book is about Alex, who is the US president's son, and Henry, who is a young prince from Britain, and they have some beef with each other. They don't get along, and they are caught in this altercation, and to kind of help make their publicity look better and just to, you know, make relations between the US and Britain better, they decide to stage some photos together and have them seen together to make it look like they're all buddy-buddy. And that actually initiates this really good friendship between the two, and then it blossoms into a romance. And then they have to navigate the sticky situation of being two young men in, you know, higher positions of power, or at least, you know, in higher statuses, and also, you know, having these political barriers between them. So this was like looking into a parallel universe of what could have happened in 2020 if things had gone differently. It was just very like heartwarming, and it was like, I wish this is what real life was. There's just a lot of bad things happening in the world, so it just kind of felt nice to have a getaway, and felt like this was a nice escape for that. It did make me feel a little sad because I was like, oh, I wish I lived in this book. That would have been nice. But yeah, it was really cute. I loved their relationship. I loved their romance. I thought it was really sweet and cute, and it was just a really good story, and it was just heartwarming and nice and cozy, and I just really liked that. It was really, really, really cute, and yeah, I loved it a lot. It was really good. Okay, my friends, that is it for my November wrap-up. I hope that was faster than normal. I feel like I take so long in these wrap-ups because I just blab and blab and blab and blab and blab. So I'm trying to like cut down on how much I say and kind of just make it more of a short and sweet review, a mini review. So let me know if you like when I talk less or if you like when I talk more. Because I feel like you might like when I talk less a little bit more, but you know, we'll see. We'll see how that goes. So yeah, it was a good reading month. December is starting out to be a really good reading month as well. I hope you read good books in November and are reading good books now that it is December. Let me know what your favorite book of November was. Let me know if you've read any of these, what your thoughts and opinions are. Let me know if you disagree with me on any of them. I know people are gonna come for me for the push. I can feel it. I'm sorry. I can't lie to you. I can't tell you I liked something when I didn't. So you should be happy that I'm honest. I could be lying. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up. Lets me know if you enjoy this content. That way I can keep providing you with that kind of content. Feel free to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. We can become friends, talk about books, movies, manga, spooky stuff, Halloween. I just add things to the list every time I say my outro. We can talk about stuff, you know, spooky stuff. So, you know, subscribe. Let's be friends. And I hope you are having a wonderful day, night, morning, afternoon, whatever time it is for you, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!